Oh, got it. Okay.
Hope I'm doing this the right way.
Lord have mercy.
Where?
I'm intrigued. How did you get it to go to stream?
I use restreaming.
Oh, you know what? I need to do that. I use it for one of the shows I do, but I other people do it for me, and then I'm just part of it.
Okay, we'll talk about it because now you're already on.
Live.
We are now live on the Spicy Divorce Party Planner TV show. I'm your host, Spice, with my lovely and gorgeous and talented co-host, Creative Storm.
Hey, how are you?
And we today have a really exciting, intriguing guest by the name of Richard-Lael Lilliard. It's kind of like a tongue twister for me.
It's a lot of
seriously,
L's.
yeah.
It certainly is a lot of L's. You know, it would be more intriguing, I think, if it were the original Aramaic and French. So it'd be Richard-Lael. You know, that would, yeah. But I don't think Americans could really get that.
Yeah, that would take me some practice. You see, I'm already struggling with this one, this version.
Right.
Well, I invited Lail because before I met him in Hollywood, and I always thought he's a really interesting person. And then I was watching him on YouTube, and he's also been on Ghost Adventures, and he has a very unique set of talents. He's a painter, he's an actor, he's a psychic, he does it all.
I almost thought you were gonna say he had a special set of skills. You know,
that is a special set of skills.
you know the movies like Taking these. I have a certain special set of skills, so I'm like, okay, that's cool. You wear a lot of hats, Richard, huh?
I do wear a lot of hats. I do indeed.
I like those hats.
I wear a lot. There's a lot of things that I have to do. Yes.
Great. I like that.
And you guys, before we go too far, can we say what cities we're representing, where we're at right now? I'm actually in Marina Del Rey, California right now.
Gardena, California.
And I am in New York, Long Island.
Okay. Nice. Very, very nice. One of our co-hosts that didn't make it tonight, she asked, have you heard of a satanic person by the name of Marina Abramovic?
You know, you would think that I would. It's almost like if you're from Cleveland and everyone says, hey, do you know so-and-so from Cleveland? No, I don't know everybody from Cleveland.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah. No, I don't know who that is. I'll have to do some Googling though.
Okay, I don't know who she is, but she was asking if she's a legitimate satanic worshiper. So I was
that's fine. What was her name again?
It's Marina, I believe, and her last name is Abramovic. And I definitely wouldn't know this.
No, I do know her. She's Serbian. Okay. Yes, she's a performance artist, a concept performance artist. I do know of her. I didn't know she was a Satanist, but I do know of her. She's quite brilliant. She did a live performance piece, which is sort of it's based on the Dadaism art movement of the early part of the 20th century. So basically, Dada is it's a nonsense word, like babies, Dada, mama, ba 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 ba, and they would take things that were not art and make them art. So they would take to write a poem. They would cut a bunch of words out of the newspaper, put it in a bag, and shake it about, and then pull out so that you'd be saying random words. Or they took a urinal and someone signed it, and that became art. And then her movement that she sort of follows in that Dadaism, it's performative. So one of the things was she allowed people to do things to her, to position her, and then it was all recorded. And then she comes back. You can do anything you want to me for this 30 minutes. And people were vulgar and they were vile. And then afterwards, they couldn't look her in the eye.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a lot of sex acts.
No, seriously. Like, Okay.
Might be like the blindfolds from what I understand. I don't know. But I'm not really familiar with her, so I am going to have to Google her. And I was hoping Dom would be here because she's more in this world than I am, or she used to be part of this world.
Well, like I said, I didn't know that she was a Satanist. I did know that she is a performance artist, quite a brilliant one at that.
Okay, good. Now, have you heard anything about a portal for demons being open? Also, Echo Maiden asked about that. I do not know much about that.
People, I always kind of shy away from using the term demons because people in the West think that demons are evil spirits, but it depends upon the culture to which one comes through. So for instance, in Chinese culture, there is a demon literally who just kicks people when they walk by. It's a leg. It's just a demon leg. That's all it is. And it will kick you when you walk by. And another such demon will wash leaves in a creek. Like that's all that demon's purpose is. So depending upon the term of demon, are there portals that can be open to interdimensional places? Sure, I think so. I think it's a possibility. I don't think there's really anything to fear. I think that when people start fearing and putting labels, then that's when you start allowing that stuff to manifest into your life, and that's when they get too much credit. That's what I'll say. Demons get too much credit.
I get that.
Can I ask you a quick question? Is it okay to ask him a question?
You sure can, whenever you feel like it.
Yeah. So how would you, like you said, you like to stay away from the word demon, because this is a new area for me as well. How would you describe yourself?
Well, I'm a Satanist. Most Satanists are atheistic, so they don't believe in God. They don't believe in a literal devil. I believe that energy does exist, but I don't like to have labels on it, because when we start putting labels, then those who would be listening start shutting down. And when we put labels, then we say this is good and this is bad, and then we sort of become we put ourselves in the place of judge. And I think you can there is good energy in people and outside of people. There's good energy and bad energy, and if it is something that doesn't work for you, then all you have to do is say, no, that doesn't work for me, get out.
Right. It's funny you say that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were finished.
No, go on. No.
You first.
I was just going to say, it's sort of like if you have a party and you invite your friends because they're your friends and you know them and you trust them and you trust them around your jewelry and around your kids, and you trust them because they're your friends. But you wouldn't just open your door. I used to live in Hollywood. So you wouldn't just open your door and say, hey, everybody, I'm having a party. Everybody can come in. My silverware, my jewelry, see whatever, stocks, bonds, take it all. This is where it is. You wouldn't do that because sometimes people can be crazy, and so can energies. So you wouldn't want to just open the door and let anything come through. So you're very specific. These are my friends. These are the kind of people that I like to have at my house. These are the kind of energies that I want. If you're not on this list, if you're not this kind, then you are not invited.
That's a good way to do it.
Right. And that's what I was going to say, because because we're speaking freely and we're speaking honestly. And so I was like, Spice, what made you want to interview like a devil worshiper? And because, you hear devil worshiper and you automatically think, oh my God, because I did. You see what I mean? I'm not going to lie. Like I said, we're being honest, we're grown. But then also you just said a mouthful, because like you said, there's something to learn out of everyone, every type of person or whatever. Just because that might not be your cup of soup doesn't mean it's not a cup of soup that you can't, divulge in or learn from. And speaking with you, because and I asked her too, I was like, well, he doesn't believe in God, and you answered it right there. You're an atheist, you don't believe, but you do believe there's a spirit. Well, just because I believe doesn't make me judge you. You see what I mean? So I'm glad that I didn't follow the average path, which would be not to even get involved. It's like, you know what? Because I'm one that has an open mind and I love people. And I love your spirit and your personality. So I'm glad I did. And whatever your beliefs is, that's fine. So what?
And that's kind of, I like that mutual respect. I have a lot of friends I have friends who are Muslim. I have friends who are Christian. I have friends who are Buddhist, atheist. I have friends all across the spectrum, and I meet them at their level. And it could be scary because people think that when you hear Satan, then they think, oh, evil, bad, devil worshiping, child sacrifice, baby eating, which is not that. None of that is true. I do love children. I can just never finish a whole one by myself.
He always says. And also, Storm, he has I didn't know he's a devil worshiper, to be honest with you. I was really intrigued.
Well, I'm a Satanist, to put it clearly. I don't actually worship the devil. I don't believe in the devil, but there is a distinction. But I'm sorry, go on.
What is the distinction then?
Yeah.
Well, a Satanist is, like I said, typically a Satanist is atheistic. Most of the time, there are theistic Satanists, but even then, they don't worship the devil. They don't believe that that energy would want to be worshipped. If it exists, it exists, but it doesn't need or require worshiping. Devil worshippers, those are oftentimes referred to as reverse Christians, because those are the kind of people that go, well, the Bible is true, and Jesus and Yahweh and God, they're all true. The Holy Spirit, they're all true, but I want to be bad. I want to do things that are evil. I want to do things that are counterproductive. A case in point was Richard Ramirez, the serial killer. He claimed to be a Satanist. It was mostly for shock value, but he was more of a demon worshiper. He worshipped devils. Another one, Son of Sam, using the symbolism of the devil, but really a devil worshiper. So Satan is, it's an ancient word, and it meant opponent. So if we were playing chess right now and I wanted to win, you would be my Satan. You would be my opponent.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
And so as a Satanist, even though I can meet people at their level, whatever they believe, I am opposed fundamentally to some of the harsher things that you would find in Abrahamic faith. Things like genocide, raping daughters after you've murdered their fathers and mothers, marrying multiple wives, slavery, stoning gay people, stoning people who work on the Sabbath, stoning people who wear mixed fibers. Now, there's a YouTuber, she's a model there in Los Angeles, God is Gray, and she's a very liberal Christian. But she says, yeah, that part is man-made. Jesus is still who I worship. And that's, I can respect that. That's fine. But I oppose those Abrahamic traditions, those ones that would enforce things that are immoral.
Okay. What would you consider your definition? And it just, Lilith. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear that?
I adore the imagery behind Lilith. Lilith is, it's funny because we were just talking about her here yesterday. Lilith is Jewish folklore that sort of took on a mind of its own. And in the Bible, it says, male and female, he created them, male and female, he created them out of the dust of the earth. I can't remember now exactly the phrasing, but it repeats it twice. It says, on such and such day, he created the male and female. And then later on, it says that Adam was put to sleep and he needed a mate. And so the rib was removed. It was a rib woman. It went from a dirt woman to a rib woman. And that was Eve. But when Lilith was around, Lilith was supposed to be the first wife of Adam, even though there was no literal Adam or Eve. That was scientifically impossible. But nonetheless, Lilith married to Adam. He says, "You lie beneath me, woman." And she says, are you kidding? We're equals. We were created at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so because she wouldn't submit, she ended up by being cast out of the garden. And then it was the demon of the sea, Leviathan, who introduced her to Lucifer. And so she becomes the bride of the morning star. And then she becomes, later on, she becomes a demon who steals the semen from young men and eats babies in the sleep.
So is that somebody now, not even would you hang out with Lilith? Or if you had a choice?
Oh, I would absolutely. I think because she got literally demonized, but I think she's a very, I think the image of her. Would you hang out with her? Or I would absolutely.
What is that?
I'm trying to see if we have comments. I'm sorry, you guys.
Oh, I'm like, what?
Because I think she got.
So sorry about that. Okay, so I'm trying to check our comments. Okay. So go ahead, you guys.
Literally demonized, and I think that anytime there is a strong, powerful woman, they oftentimes will say, "Oh, she's trying too hard. She doesn't smile enough. She's not friendly enough. She's not good enough. She's not kind enough." And they're out there, and they're judging a woman on her makeup when the man can be a fat slob with a toupee. And I mean Donald Trump.
Yeah, right, with his Barbie dolls.
Right.
So strong women are judged more harshly. Joan of Arc was, even though she was a Christian, she was a Catholic, she was a strong woman who was demonized. So they said she was crazy because how dare you? You're just a woman. How could you speak for God? So
that's so not fair.
Yes, I would absolutely spend time with Lilith.
Interesting.
It's mixed. I have mixed thoughts about that, but I mean, not your decision. I'm just saying that's why I wanted to ask you. But great, thank you, because I can see now where a girl, when she said there's there's Lilith in everyone, because when you speak of strength, I am very strong, but that's because of whatever reason, I've always felt like I had to defend myself and take care of others. That's just something that I've wanted to do forever anyway. So
I think it's strong. I think it's beautiful. And I think, my lovely, embrace that power. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay. So, and Spice knows why I brought that up. And then because that made me go and do some research on it. Now, everything that you're saying, it falls along that line, but then the research made it go a little bit deeper. And then even speaking with people, it's not a good aura. You know what I mean?
Well, the people, the folklore gets turned and twisted, and it becomes sort of a, what is the word? An egregore. So if I were to tell you, I want you to think of this character. I'm not going to tell you this character's name, but I'm going to describe this character, and I want you to tell me who this person is. This person, he wears red a lot. He's quite jolly. He flies around the world with 8 tiny reindeer, and he comes down chimneys on December 25th. Who is that person?
It's Santa Claus.
Okay, so Santa Claus was based on two Saint Nicholases. There were 2, but the legend, the egregore of Santa Claus, is more powerful than the literal Saint Nicholas, and it because it's mass perception. So people will form their own ideas, and they look. In Jewish mysticism, Lilith became a child eater, and she was a succubus, and she would take children because she wanted to have her own babies. But that was demonized literally thousands of years after her first creation. And again, anytime there is a strong, powerful person, people want to see them smashed and broken and cast out.
That brings us to our next question. Do you think divorce party planners are evil?
Right. Great question.
Do I think you're
Are we
evil?
immoral?
Immoral? No, not immoral. Evil? Well, that can be fun. Evil can be fun.
It can
It can absolutely. And you know what? As I feel like it's incredibly healthy to, if someone has hurt you,
Mhm.
and you have gone to the point where there is no more connection, you have crossed your paths, you've gone on separate directions. Sometimes we need that final send off, that final, pardon the language.
Yes.
Right. Right. That first thing we did, Spice, that first.
Yeah, we have some of our past guests have actually did that towards their exes on our show.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them. They've been through a lot. And I mean a lot.
I think it's absolutely healthy. I think it can be really healing. I mean, there are still people that I do send the finger mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, everything that I can. I send the finger to these people because they deserve it.
Right? They do. Some people really do.
Right. Let's all do the finger. No.
Right.
Okay.
So Richard-Lael, in Ghost Adventures, tell us about that experience.
Ghost Adventures was fun. This was a couple of years ago, and it sort of fell into my lap. I'm friends with Patty Negri, who's on the show frequently. Patty Negri, the Good Witch. She's lovely. She's one of my dearest friends.
Nice.
And they said, we need somebody. We need a place that is haunted. We need something that's visually beautiful. We need somebody that's interesting. We need something that's really going to be a showstopper. And
that's you.
I know this guy. I know this person. You'll love him.
Like, I know my house.
So she called me up, and they called me up, and they set it up. And there was a funny thing that had happened. So they interviewed me, and then they wanted to do. I was about to leave, and they said, "Well, would you do us a séance?" Because they were going to put me up in a hotel. And they said, "Would you do us a séance?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" So I go in, and I'm preparing, and I've got my rum, and I've got my offerings, and they're in the other room, and they're listening to the EVPs. Here goes my clock. Just a second.
Uh-oh.
1 second.
One more.
So I've got my rum sitting there as an offering, and I am doing my meditations, and the rum starts doing this kind of thing in the glass. And at that moment, in the other room, they hear "Take a drink" on their EVP recording. And Zach, now they don't fake anything. They are over the top. They don't fake anything. And Zach goes, "Oh, take a drink of what? Of blood?" And I'm going, "Rum. No. It's rum. I'm not a vampire. Why would I be drinking blood?"
Right. Oh, Lord have mercy.
You know what? I'm gonna show Richard-Lael on Ghost Adventures. Can you guys give me a quick sec? Go ahead and talk amongst each other while I find it.
Well, Richard, I want to thank you for that. Because I'm open, like I say, I like to learn different things, and so you gave me a different side of that. So I do want to thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think that, again, because people are oftentimes, if you look in some of the comment sections on some of the things I've been on, I am evil incarnate. But anyone who actually gets to know me, they know that I am the furthest thing from evil.
Right.
So
I mean, go ahead. Yeah. That's
so
cool.
It's the same thing with Lilith or with any other energy.
Okay, and with that being said, the only way that I would reference myself as a Lilith or any part of it would just be that strong woman part, and how through the years that I've been here, how people try to knock you down or you know what I mean, exactly what you said. So that's how I can relate to it in that way. So I am glad that I asked your opinion and your definition of it. However, that other part of it, I'm so far from it. You know what I mean? So
well, and that's the thing too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, nothing is really black and white and good and evil and right and wrong. It's nothing is.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There's always varying degrees. And the case in point, I want to say some traits, and I want you to tell me if they're good or evil. Can you do that real quickly?
Absolutely.
Okay. So there's a historical figure that I'm talking about. This real person was, he was a unifier, and he never cheated on his partner. Good or bad?
Mm-hmm. I will say that would be a positive.
Okay. This person was a national figure and cared very deeply about exercise and instituted exercise programs all across this country. Is that a good thing?
That is also a good thing.
This person was a vegetarian because this person worried about the suffering of animals.
Mm-hmm. That
Good
would be
thing?
positive. Yeah.
This person was the first person in his country as this leader. He was the first person to do a national anti-tobacco campaign because it was not good for people to be smoking, to be addicted. Is that a good thing?
Yes, it is.
The person that I'm talking about is Adolf Hitler.
Oh,
that's crazy. Wow.
That's a great way of showing an example.
Yeah. And he has all these good traits, but people only see or hear about the bad.
I mean, he was bad. He was bad. Hitler was bad.
Man, but I've never heard positive things like that about him.
Because everyone has a balance. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less. And so I like to take the picture as a whole. Now, murdering people,
right?
That way outweighs the smoking campaign and the veganism. That way outweighs.
Right.
But I like to go, okay, which one weighs more? Is there more good than bad, or is there more bad than good?
No, that was great. Yeah, and I learned something. You see what I mean? So okay, facts. So thank you. That was a good way to kill time. Spice, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. And actually, BB asked, she says, is Richard-Lael a psychic or medium? What's the difference?
Well, I'm both. So a psychic really just has to deal with having the gift of insight as to, I tell people, the cards, they're not magic. I deal in probabilities. If I tell you this is the way that things look like they're going, you are still the director of your movie. You can change them. This is just a path that you are taking. Now, a medium is someone who can communicate to energies, to spirits, if you will. And I am someone who can, whether it be through that actual spirit, or if I'm looking through the realms of time. I don't know exactly where it comes from. I don't know.
Is that something you can do on demand, or do you have time? Like,
it depends. Sometimes I do. It is really, it's the switch that I have to turn on and off.
Okay.
Because otherwise it becomes exhausting.
Got you. Okay.
So many times I can, but closer to the end so that I can focus on that.
Well, maybe if we get a chance when we almost done, that way you can rest afterwards. Let us know. I mean, you never know. If not, that'll be another episode. So that's cool.
Because most psychics, I don't think they like to be filmed, from my understanding.
Well, some don't. You know, I don't have a problem with it. I've done it online. I don't have my cards down here, so that I can't really do that. We'll see what happens. Sometimes
the medium part is what I was talking about.
Well, and it is a little bit more difficult on video, but it is possible.
Okay. No, just wondering. I've never been so that's cool. Okay.
No, speaking of Richard-Lael being a psychic, we're going to give you a glimpse of him on Ghost Adventures. So hold tight, you guys.
All right.
Like I said, I'm pretty new to this. So let's go here.
I'm looking at you. You look good, so don't worry about it. Keep doing
Okay, I'm trying. It's like it's not that easy. Okay, there we
that
go.
orange looks nice on you.
Thank you. Here we go.
There's no sound.
I was like, or should we be able to hear? Okay. Spice, there's no sound. I don't know if she can hear me.
I can hear it.
You can hear it. We can't.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Richard, could you hear it?
I didn't hear a thing, no.
So why so Facebook followers, can you guys hear the video that I'm playing? I believe it's working because yesterday I did an interview. So let's hope it is.
Okay, well you're past the Ghost Adventures part anyway.
Okay. So should we
It
go
goes on
back or
to other things? I don't remember what's on that clip, that reel.
okay. Should we skip that or
Well, it's not Ghost Adventures anymore. It goes on to Jubilee Media and a few other things that I was on.
okay, gotcha. Okay, I see. So it's different media. Okay. So we're gonna stop that right there. But yeah, you can see that Richard-Lael has been very active in a lot of different projects.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna go on to our next question. You're also openly gay. What difficulties do you experience in this community? Because I often hear that most gay guys will not commit. So I don't know what their take is on a divorce.
I mean, I guess that does happen frequently.
Okay.
We're all kind of shell shocked. I think we're all kind of like, wait, attention, wait. You know, I think that is kind of one of the things that we do.
Okay.
I do think too that there's, oh hell, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I it's more difficult for me to date because I'm not only am I out gay Satanist, but I'm an out gay Satanist with Victorian clothing and a creepy old car, and I always dress up. So it's a lot to unpack.
Uh-huh.
There was a couple of years ago, I will tell you a funny story. I met this fellow on, oh, how do I say it? On one of those websites.
Uh-huh.
And he comes in and he says, we'd been chatting for a month or so, and he comes in and he's got his wine bottle with him, and he comes in and he goes, and I, understanding that he was uncomfortable, I said,
A little bit.
I said, it's Victorian. And he gulped really big. He goes, your house is really weird. I said, it's Victorian.
Right.
He goes, I have to go. I have to go. I have to go. And I went, get the fuck out. There's the door.
Sounds like Scooby-Doo or something. Sounds like Shaggy.
Right. I'm like,
He sounds like Shaggy, like I'm out of here.
Well, I you know, and I it was to his credit, I was living in Pasadena in a big haunted Victorian house, and I come to the door like this in the night, and then there is there's not in here, but there's taxidermy, and there's, you know, a bear, a giant taxidermy bear that looks down on you, and old paintings and photographs of long dead people.
And this was the first room that he saw.
Well, he walked into the main hall firstly, which was also the main. You know, you walk into the main hall. There's a little settee, and there's a fireplace, and my seance room with all of my devil masks, and then you
Oh no.
then you
Oh, no,
come
right.
in the main parlor, and then there's slide open the double doors, and the walls are blood red, and it's then
Oh
he
my
sees all of
gosh.
this.
Yeah, I'd be a little scared too.
I have to go.
Was that a learning lesson for you, not or maybe to give people a preview of how you live before you invite them over, or
not really? You know, I had for a while posted on those certain sites when I was on them that I would that I said, okay, I'm a Satanist, and so just deal with it. And I remember I had gone back to visit my mother. This was several years ago. And it was way out in the middle of nowhere, middle Missouri, middle of nowhere. And I was feeling a little randy. And this guy messages me, he wants to meet up. And I said, okay, let's do it. And then I start freaking out. I start terrifying myself because I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and I have that I'm a Satanist on my profile.
Yeah.
No. What is he gonna do? No.
Yeah. So it could go both ways. Yeah.
I go to get in his car, and I said, I'm a little bit, I don't know. I just realized I don't really know you. And I'm a little bit freaked out. And he says, dude, I just drove out into the woods to meet a Satanist. I went,
he's like the nerve of you to be nervous. I'm getting in my car.
He said, I came out to meet the Satan. He's like, who's more scared of who, right?
Right. And I went, oh yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
That's so funny.
So how did the night turn out? Was it okay at least?
Oh, it was a fun night. I can't go into too much detail, you know.
Okay.
Never kiss and tell.
No, at least you had a great time. That's cool.
Oh, we have another viewer, and they're asking, they said they're curious to know about your background. How did you end up being Satanist?
Well, I think it was a series of events, really. Growing up, I was raised Pentecostal, and I don't know if you know what Pentecostalism is, but it's crazy. And they're the ones that what unifies Pentecostalisms is that they oftentimes will speak with other tongues. It's gibberish.
Okay.
Shumblity, hasi, lodi, abadabada, shabadada, badada. It's
I've seen some. Yeah.
But I remember my late brother-in-law, he passed away several years ago. He was pastoring, and he was talking about the most beautiful angel, and that he was this beacon of light, and that everyone thought he was beautiful, and more he had the gift of music. And I went, you know, here I am 10, and I went, I like this.
Right.
Who is this figure? And then in my teen years, I imagined what it must be like to be in a to be in an orgy with Yahweh, Jesus, and Satan.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
That's a way out fantasy that I haven't heard of yet.
I don't even know.
I haven't even seen that in Pornhub yet. Have you guys?
And then really the meat of the deal was I had been questioning, and I remember I had a book on ancient religions, and I said, okay, so if Venus is the virgin who gives birth to demigods, and if Aphrodite is the virgin, the queen of heaven, who immaculately gives birth to children, and if Hercules is half man and half god, and if Zoroaster is the god of the air, the god of everything, and if these concepts existed before the Bible was written, why do these stories exist? They're much older than the Bible. And the way that it was answered was, well, the devil wanted to pull people away from Christ, and so he went before Christ to create fake Christs so that it would send people to hell forever.
Oh wow!
I went, so
That's
he
crazy.
cheated.
Yeah.
He cheated before God did it, but God is the original, but Satan copied God before God could do it.
Yes, just too much confusion. It's all over the place.
Right.
I'm throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
So that was a major turning point. And then I think the final straw, this one is a very personal story. The final straw was I was living in Vegas. I was 25. It was after my father's death. And I was not making very much money. And I didn't know where I was going. Mobile phones, you didn't have them really in those days. This was, I'm old. So I knew that payday was the next day, but I didn't have any money. I just had enough money to get on the bus so I could figure out where I was going, up Desert Inn. And I thought, oh, I'm really hungry. Maybe sometimes I hide money from myself in my wallet. There might be a little bit of something in the back of my wallet. And I opened up my wallet and there was a $20 note. So I got off the bus and I went to this fast food restaurant and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get some water because I'm really thirsty and I'm going to get such and such. That was my thought. And I waited in the queue and I waited in the queue and I waited. And I get up to the front and I go to take out that 20 and I open it up because it was folded. I open it up and it is not $20. It is in fact a Christian tract that says, disappointed. Imagine how disappointed God is. Wow. And you shouldn't be storing up treasures on earth. You should be storing them up in heaven.
Oh my goodness. That's really disappointing.
Right.
That's horrible.
And I went out to that bus stop, lost, didn't know where I was, hungry, tired.
No money. Yeah.
No money. And I sat there and I went, and I felt around my neck the cross that I had worn since I was 15. And it suddenly felt like it weighed 1 billion tons.
Oh,
wow.
And I ripped that cross off and I threw it in the gutter and I cursed it. And I said, the Bible says the just will not go hungry. That's what the Bible says. That's literally what the Bible says. And after all that I have done for you, I have denied myself. You can't even find it to make me there's a tract, a Christian tract in my wallet. I remember putting it in there. I thought, oh, that's kind of funny. That's kind of cute. No, but it had been a couple of years. I was just in the back of my wallet. I hadn't even thought about it.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
And then when I saw that what it was, I went, oh, yes, now I remember. It was my own fault. It wasn't some cosmic plan, but I threw that cross in the gutter and I cursed it and I felt better. I felt human. I was no longer ashamed. I was always afraid that if I would step out, that God would punish me and send me to hell. I was afraid that if I acted on my homosexuality, that I would be stricken. I would be smited, smeated. I don't know, but I would incur the wrath of God.
Right.
And then after that, I felt free for the first time. I felt like that was literal slavery. It was chains it was a chain that had me bound. And I realized there are children with cancer. There are dogs that get abused. There are people who pray every day, God, please, God, please, God, please, let me have something to eat, please. And if that God exists, he's a cruel sadist.
I see.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, that is deep.
Yeah, that was my turning point.
Gotcha. That's a good explanation.
Yeah.
We have some more questions from our viewers, but we're going to wait. We want to get these questions first, and then viewers, you got to hold on to the very end, and we'll get your questions answered, okay? But you got some great questions. Okay, so let's see here. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on using a voodoo doll on an ex?
It's, you know what? I think that voodoo is a closed religion. So I think it can be. I think it can be mentally beneficial for you. I think it can add closure. But the thing about a voodoo doll is that voodoo dolls were typically for healing. So we see it with all of those pins in it. But it would be so that the person would come to the voodoo priest or the high priestess, and they would say, I have a pain right here. Right here in this spot. And the priest or priestess, they would say, right here, okay, I'm going to put my energy from here. This is for me to focus on that part of your body. Okay, right there. And then they'd come back, yeah, that's fine. And now I need you to work on this part. Okay, we'll work on that too. So that was really the origin of the voodoo doll. Hollywood loves to make it sort of this evil thing, but I think it can be incredibly cathartic to, in effigy, destroy someone who has hurt you.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, because sometimes they tell us to tear up their letters and stuff like that. So I don't really see, it could be symbolic as well.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I get exactly what you're saying, Richard-Lael, because they always make everything seem like so evil, and really a lot of it is like African spirituality, and they made it seem like demonized.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because it was strong, powerful beings. What was that?
I'm thinking about acupuncture. I mean, everything you just described with that voodoo doll, outside of just like nowadays, and how it's been putting the needles directly into a human body, they were doing the same thing, but with a doll. So, I mean, when you describe it, just think of a person had, pain all over their body, and they wanted to go to acupuncture. You know what I mean? They're going to look like a voodoo doll. You see what I mean? Like
exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I like having this conversation with Richard-Lael, because a lot of people like have blindfolds on, or they just see things one way, and they've been conditioned to believe this for so many years, and that's and they just always associate with being evil and scary. But there's more to it. Yeah, there definitely is. There definitely is. Are you related to Cruella de Vil?
Girl, I'm gonna hit your ass. Give me a guy.
I am Cruella de Vil. It's really funny. I have my car is a 1936 Jaguar, and the license plate, it does not say DeVille on it. It says Mr. Satan. And a funny thing about Mr. Satan. The funny thing about Mr. Satan, though, is that when I went to the DMV, I was so excited. I thought this is my first choice. I want Mr. Satan, and because there's an old 19th century book which is hell up to date. It's one of my favorite storytime books, and it's a modern day, by the 19th century, modern day retelling of Dante's Inferno, Dante Alighieri. So it's modern day, and he talks about all of these kind of people he sees in hell, the Mashers and the people from Toledo, Ohio. I mean, it's silly stuff.
Right.
So the devil figure, this guy is a salesman. He goes, not the devil, but the salesman comes in, and he's trying to figure out, how do I address this fellow, Satan? And he ends up by saying, Mr. Satan, Mr. Satan. So I was hoping I would get Mr. Satan, and I got Mr. Satan as a license plate, and I was so excited to get it. And I went and I Googled Mr. Satan. And did you know that there is a Dragon Ball Z character named Mr. Satan?
Oh.
I wanted it for the semi-infernal powers, and now people think that I live in my mother's basement.
Oh, that's funny. It's like you didn't know you were going to get into that, right?
Right.
And I still get asked, "Oh, Mr. Satan, like Dragon Ball Z?" Not exactly.
Richard-Lael, have you done the research on Cruella de Vil? Because I think she was named after like a devil or something like that. Isn't that? Have you heard?
There is a little bit of research. There is. I've done some research on her.
Yes.
The name Cruella devil is basically cruel devil.
Right.
Though in the Swedish, there's some other name. I can't. It's lost in my mind somewhere. It meant something else, but it was equally vindictive. And then of course there's Hell Hall, and her father, according to the story from 1966 or whenever it was, she was something about dating the devil, and children would walk by and see the hall all closed up and hear screams, and it was a place of devil worship. I that's sort of what I heard.
Okay, so you know a little bit about her. I didn't know that till recently. So
well, I aspire to be her.
Yeah,
I mean the male gay satanic version.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a really funny. So I think you touched on this already. In Satanism, do you have to drink blood or harm animals or sacrifice people or animals?
Expressly, no.
Okay.
In fact, in the Church of Satan, there are 11 rules of earth, and then the Satanic Temple has 7 tenets of Satanism. And both of them say that you do not harm animals. You do not harm anybody unless they are going to harm you first. You don't, the only harm you cause to an animal is if you're going to eat it or if you're being attacked. You never make sexual advances to anyone who is not of age and not reciprocating of those advances. So it's really, really moral. No, the only ones who do those kind of things are and not all, I have to always say, not all, but the demon worshippers are the ones that really are the ones who, like Richard Ramirez, what was his name? Son of Sam.
Yeah. The crazy.
Okay. Creepy. Weird.
So, and I think we also talked a little bit about is being into Satanism. Is it difficult to date? And we did talk a little bit about that.
Sometimes, you know, there's in all of the things that I've done in my existence, you know, Freddie Mercury and Satanism and Willy Wonka, all of these things I've done. Being on TV, being on America's Next Top Model, being on shows. I lived in LA. It's what I did.
The character, yes.
So I get two kinds. There are those who are intimidated and they run away. Oh, Satanism. Oh, you've been on TV. Oh, you've done such and such, and they run away scared. And then the other ones are, well, pardon my being blunt, star fuckers.
Oh, okay.
So it's really hard to tell what people really.
They're all on your nuts.
Literally, right? Literally, for real. That was a good way to put it. These nuts. Like, no, but Richard, really? So so for Halloween, do you celebrate it? If so, how do you usually dress up?
I do on occasion celebrate Halloween. I love the idea of Halloween, but I'm really such a recluse and a hermit. I rarely ever celebrate. I'm oftentimes, Halloween being what I do, that's kind of my Christmas. So everybody wants my services around then. Because that's when the normies want to be weird like me, and it's okay to be a little bit strange. But there are some timeless classics that I have always enjoyed wearing, and I've only done it a couple of times. But one of them, I have this character that is a French king, a French monarch, and his name is Louis XIVII. And it's not a real number. Don't even try. You can't wrap your head around it because it's not even a real number. But he's this French monarch, and it's based off of Louis XIV and the Emperor's New Clothes. So if I'm either in full-on French regalia or I've got a cravat and a crown and lacy underwear and high heels, that's
doing it all the way up.
Right.
Doing it all the way up.
You got to be sure to let Spice. Oh, damn, but you in New York. Never mind. I was about to say, you got to let us know if you do something for Halloween, but never mind.
Yeah. That'll be one of our trips to New York.
Heck yeah.
Maybe I'll have a gig that will take me back to LA. I know I have a lot of friends who are there.
Yeah, we would love to see you out here.
Exactly. Yeah.
What kind of classes do you teach?
That's through University Magicus.
Okay.
You can go universitymagicus.com, and I teach tarot. I teach meditation. I teach goodness, what kind of things? Creating your own tarot, trusting your intuition, communicating with energies. I mean, I've been doing it for 2 years, so I teach a little bit of everything.
That's cool. That's interesting. Yeah.
What could we learn by getting our tarot cards read?
Well, like I said, I deal with probabilities. So when the cards, I tell people, cards, they are not magic. Okay. Cards are cards that triggers things in our minds. It's a matter of perspective. Okay. It's sort of like, I like to tell people, imagine you're in New York City, you're watching Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And from the street, you can see the tops of the balloon. You can hear the band. You don't know where the floats are going. You don't know where they're coming. But it's moment by moment. But if you're taken high above the city, you're in a helicopter high above the city. From this perspective, now I can see the way that it looks like it's going to go. It looks like it's going to go down Fifth Avenue, and then it's going to turn right. And that's what it looks like. But back in the 90s, the Barney balloon was punctured and removed. But from the air, you would have thought that it was going to continue in this path. So I tell people what you can learn is insight for yourself. I tell people that you can learn an outside perspective. You can learn pitfalls that may present themselves to you.
Okay.
That's so.
What is Scared and Alone about?
Oh, Scared and Alone is so much fun. We started on National Ghost Hunting Day, which was right before Halloween this last year. And we've been doing it now. I think we've done 10 or 11 shows. And basically my producers, Christine Roth and Rob Cohen, they were having this National Ghost Hunting Day, and they said, well, you paint, why don't you paint a picture or something? And then we'll have people going into these haunted houses, and it'll be fun. And then people enjoyed it. So now we have our host, Dean Hagland, who was on X-Files, among a few other things. And we have David L. Sloan, who's there sometimes. Patty Negri comes by sometimes. We have Miss Haley Michelle. She's the paranormal princess, and she does dolls.
I like those dolls. Those are pretty cool.
We have
and the witch.
Courtney Buckley, and we're all on Zoom like we are here. And then Courtney is the one that gets to go to these haunted locations.
I don't want her job.
It's a pretty good job.
She looks like a tough cookie anyway, though.
She's pretty tough.
Yeah,
I mean, she's pretty brave to go doing it. She goes and she gets scared, and then I'm there painting the spirits that I see. It's really a good venue. It's quite a winning combination.
So do we go to YouTube to watch that? I saw it on your page. Is that where we find it?
You can see it on my own private page, the Gentleman Psychic, or Richard-Lael Lilliard, or you can go to scaredandalone.com, or you can go to Scared and Alone on YouTube. I mean, you can watch it on Dean Hagland's YouTube, on everyone that's involved. You can watch it on all of our YouTubes. It's because they use Restream too.
Okay,
that's
good.
how they do it.
I don't know how to do all at the same time. Okay, great. What did you learn by being on Ghost Adventures?
What did I learn about being on Ghost Adventures? Well, you know what? Did I learn anything? It was fun. Okay. I learned that Dana is my friend. I learned that I learned that I have friends.
Okay.
That's what I learned. I learned that some of the people that I knew were not my friends. That's
Oh.
that's what I learned.
Well, you had a fun experience. It sounds like it.
It was really fun. It was
Yeah.
They are professional and they're charming, and they were really good to me. They were kind to me.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, I'm jealous that you
I
get
love the
all
life
these
that
cool
you
shows.
have so far. Like it's wonderful. Like all the different things that you've been able to just jump into. It's fun. I congratulate you.
Thank you. It's been quite a roller coaster, I have to admit.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago when I lived in Vegas, I was a singing blackjack dealer, and I have a friend, Brian, who said to me, he says, "You don't know how lucky you are. Like you swing from one to another. You get kicked down a lot, but then you get right back up like it's your first time at the rodeo, and you just go on to the next thing, and then it's the next thing." So it is. I'm lucky that way. I am lucky.
But that's strength. You don't let it keep you down, and I love it. Otherwise you couldn't expose to us and teach us what you're teaching us if you didn't have those experiences.
This is true. This is true. Those
He's
experiences
all over the place, you guys. So you're gonna have to look him up on IMDb. What is your favorite decoration in your house?
My favorite decoration in my house. Favorite decoration. It is actually a chair that I have. It's not here. No, I take that back. That is one of my favorites, but I have a taxidermied goat.
Okay. Oh God.
Taxidermy. Okay, you guys. Does that mean it's dead? Is that what that taxidermy
means? It's dead, and it's been filled with all kinds of arsenic and formaldehyde.
Right.
It's stuffed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a goat? Is it a baby goat?
A black goat. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know what, Richard, behind you, and I've been looking at that picture. What does that picture symbolize? Because literally, anytime you're watching a scary movie, now I know they're not all taken in that room right there. What does that picture have to do with a lot of the scary movies and stuff of the man looking, you know the picture I'm talking about behind you?
I don't know. I don't know who he is. I just think he's really quite fabulous. I don't know who he is, but I do love the painting technique, so that when you look at him, his eyes do kind of move.
Oh,
but it's a painting technique. It's just a painting technique.
But it's so, you see, if you think about it, Spice, when you're looking at scary movies, if it's
I know, like at Disneyland, the
like
Haunted Mansion thing. Yeah, the Haunted Mansion has that at Disneyland.
They watching you.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'd be scared to go spend the night there, to be honest. I'm such a big chicken.
Because like, you're looking at me.
I would not stay the night there with that damn thing.
I wouldn't go back.
Even with all the lights on. I'm sorry. I'm such a chicken. I can't really watch scary movies.
With a backup generator shit, because if the lights go out, I still need
a backup generator, girl. I can't do it at all. I don't give a damn about that backup generator. I'll be at home. Okay. Such a big chicken.
I'm sorry. No. What's the next question, Spice?
What is your favorite piece of art that you have created, Richard-Lael?
My favorite piece of art. You know what? I love them all. I love them in different ways. I love the magician card. I loved the moon card. I love all of them. I love to see them. I love to see them put together. And it's therapy for me, and it's cheaper than going to a psychiatrist. So I love them. I really love one that is now in Los Angeles. That it's called Just a Little Crush. And it shows this grand hall in an old house with ghosts all around.
I saw that one.
Stairs.
Okay.
And there is a man in contemporary clothing crushed but beneath a massive chandelier.
I saw that one.
And the story goes that he's a house flipper that decided he wanted open spaces, and he wanted to paint all the woodwork white and put in vinyl floors and double paned windows. And the spirits decided something different.
I can understand why. They like, don't be disturbing our household.
Exactly. That's what they're saying. I saw that one. It's really cool.
I
No,
want to
Richard.
see it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask next. Where can we find your artwork at? Is it online?
Yeah, most of my artwork is on, I mean, not most of it is. Most of my artwork is on my Instagram, Richard-Lael, Lilliard, or the Gentleman Psychic.
Okay.
I'm really easy to be found.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'm definitely going. Yes.
Where do you go shopping for your wardrobe at?
Well, it's funny because I don't wear as many vintage clothes as what people think I do. I style them in a way that are vintage. But I like, this is an Edwardian collar, but it's new. So I get things that are, sometimes it's custom, sometimes it is thrift, sometimes I have things made for me, sometimes it's eBay, sometimes it's who knows. I just, things find me.
Okay.
From what I can see, I like that tie though. Like, can you? It's nice. I just, that's
Thank
really
you.
nice. And it's wide.
He always
I like
looks
that.
nice,
Yeah.
always sharp. Matter of fact, one of my co-hosts said that he's very handsome.
Thank you.
One of our co-hosts that's missing.
Well, you know what? I was
silly.
just telling my friend Melissa. She says, "Oh, you're so handsome." I said, "I photograph well. I photograph really well. I look good in pictures. I look good in." Actually, it's so funny because
He's being modest.
when I was in LA, people would either come to me, to my house to do a reading or whatever it may be, and they would want to do a picture. They go, "I've never wanted to take a selfie." I go, "Here, let me just take the selfie. I'm the selfiest person you'll ever meet," and I take this picture, and then they go, "Wow, you photograph really well." And I go, "I know, I look like a horse in real life."
He's fun. He's just modest. That's all.
I love
what was your favorite thing about working at Voodoo House LA, and what was your role there?
I love the Beetle House. I was the MC, the master of ceremonies. I started off as Willy Wonka, and then I just sort of ended up by being the ringmaster.
Nice.
They were very kind to me. They were very good to me. I enjoyed every second of it. I used to do stand-up, but I learned I made more money on my back.
You made what? I didn't hear. What did you say?
I said I made more money on my back. I used to do stand-up, but I made more money on my back.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I would do stand-up. I would tell. Actually, it was when I was Willy Wonka. I had a woman come to me and she says, "Those are the cleanest dirty jokes I have ever heard in my life." And I'm laughing. My kids are going, "Why is it funny that he says he packs fudge?" And I can't tell them because you're
I didn't know you did stand up, so that was news to me.
And Willy Wonka is one of my favorites. I'm like,
see, now you got a new fan.
Well, everybody likes to play with Willy, some more than others.
I used to love reading about it, but now I know the real Willy Wonka. Wonk, wonk.
I am, to my knowledge, the only Willy Wonka tribute impersonator, if you will, who has the explicit. What is the word I'm looking for? The approval. That's the word I'm looking for. I have the approval of the Nestle estate, the Nestle Corporation, the Doll estate. I have Paramount and one of the other studios. I can't remember now.
Wow.
Ticket. We got to go with the tickets. You remember how on Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory? I've got a golden ticket. Never mind. I don't even want to get started.
Well, that's fabulous. So if they're all behind you, that means you're really great at what you do.
Well, they said that they had tried impersonators of Johnny Depp. They tried impersonators of Gene Wilder. None of them would actually work. It didn't work out. They said, but you are Willy Wonka. Oh my God. You have that spark, that magic. You get it. And the daughter of Roald Dahl, she says, "This is exactly what my father wrote. This is what my father saw."
That's amazing.
Have you ever met Gene Wilder in person?
No, he was pretty old when I was doing Willy Wonka, and then he died before I could meet him.
Oh, okay. And that's why I asked, because I think he was the one that played an original Willy Wonka
in 70. What was it? 70 in the 70s. I can't remember what day, what year. But 76,
right. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
What is your in-between job when you're not acting?
I have several jobs.
Join
Hand
the
jobs,
club.
room jobs, blow jobs.
Right.
Hand jobs, blow jobs. And on his back.
See, I wouldn't go say it.
No, you know what? I'm a full-time. I am when I am. The acting is really that's the in-between job.
Okay.
I'm really more. It used to be kind of a thing that I used to do all the time. I don't really do it so much now. No, I mostly do the gentleman psychic work, and then I do my artwork.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I do. That's the main thing I do.
But it sounds fun. So what do you do in your free time?
Hand jobs, rib jobs, blow jobs.
There you go. I keep stepping in the fucking hole.
That's all we have time for. Like, most people don't even have time for that.
Well, you know what I really like to do? I really love to take my car out and drive through the cemetery. That's what
I saw that video. I thought
is that right?
Yes.
I just love it. It's so quiet, so peaceful. And it's so well maintained.
If it was anything other, we'd have a problem.
Oh my God. Yeah, you got to watch that video.
Oh, I will when we finish.
I think Storm was scared of you at first, but I think she's loving you now.
I love the hell out of him. I'm like, yes.
You see?
I'm not as evil as they think I am.
Exactly.
Aww, don't let me down like that. No way. That's why I said I'm glad I did. I was a little confused at first, but no, that's why I say I'm very open-minded. So I'm
glad you are, Miss Storm, because like I've mentioned to some people, I'm interviewing a Satanist person, and are we inviting evil spirits into our lives by interviewing you?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
That's what impression they're trying to. I was under when I spoke to them. Okay.
Hell, that's a bad relationship. Shit, if they come in and out all the time, right? So how do you know? That's why you
tell
have
them to sit down and have a cup of tea. And if they don't behave, then they have to get the fuck out.
Right?
Out. I love them.
Yeah, because a lot of people there's so many people that are like so like stuck in that world, and they believe stuff like that, and then they try to put it on other people. But yet, if you're Christian, you're not supposed to live in fear. So I don't know. Okay.
But you know what? And you said that, Spice, really, because like I said, in the beginning, like he has his beliefs and I have mine. It doesn't take away from him as a person. But what he did do was he enlightened me on some things. And
a lot of people.
I'm smarter than I was when I walked into this interview. You see what and I'm not ashamed to say, because if I can't learn something new every day, what's wrong with me? So I mean, no, it's a blessing.
It really is. What would be your dream divorce party? I don't know if you have one, but if you did.
My dream divorce party. Oh, I know exactly what my dream divorce party would be. Now, that would, of course, first I would have to be married. And then it would have to be, not only would I have to be married, but I would have to have gone through, I would have to have gone through the divorce, which I don't know that would be, but my divorce party would be, he's 98 years old. He leaves me all his billions of dollars.
Nice.
I get the yacht. Sprinkle the ashes.
Oh, wow.
And then bring him back.
I will bring him back. Maybe not.
He can leave it all over for you again. You'll never go broke.
See?
You just get the money and leave, huh? You just want the money, huh? At the end, is that what you want?
Show me the money. Show me the money.
Right?
There you go.
That's what everybody wants.
That's Goldfinger. No, go ahead.
Any last words for an ex?
Well, not really, not that I can think of.
quite a few of our guests have done that. I'm not talking about you, but Now we can get into the fun part, questions from our viewers. Okay, let's see here. We have a lot of people cracking up. Rolo's watching too. Okay, let's see what. Can you teach someone their powers that they're born with?
Well, I can help open their mind. Can I teach them something? I mean, yeah, I think that's looking for a yes and no answer. Yes, I can open their minds and expand them to their own power. That's my major thing is self-empowerment. Okay. So yes.
Okay. What are your thoughts on how we transcend into the next world after earthly death?
You know what? Nobody knows. Not for certain. Nobody knows. Anyone who says that they know 100% is either a liar or they're delusional. And I don't know what happens. I know that I see things, but I don't know what happens.
Okay. Right. That's fair.
Okay. And one person asked, how does your family feel about your beliefs?
They don't talk about it.
Okay.
My mother is 82. She'll be 83 in December. I mean, I'm sorry, in April. And she's stuck by my side for a very long time. And we've always had a good relationship until the orange menace that is Donald Trump came down the escalator in 2016. And not to get too political, but that's the thing. They are very much on the other side. And my mother said that that I needed to leave the coast so I could lose the West Coast mentality. That was her word. And she says, well, you being that thing that you are. And I said, an atheist? No, not that. A Satanist? No, not that. The other thing. I said, gay? And she says, well, whatever you call it.
Whatever you call it. Yeah, that's difficult when she's so much older,
Right.
They come from a different mind frame.
So how do they just don't really talk about it. They just don't talk about it.
Okay. Oh, I'm still looking for someone. One of our viewers wants to get the opportunity to have a reading by you. So that's great. You got some business coming your way.
GentlemanPsychic.com.
Okay, cool. Let's see.
Cool.
All right, you guys. So people are enjoying watching you. And let's see here. Where can we go to find out more about you?
Well, literally, I am like Santa Claus. See how I brought that back around?
I see you.
I'm everywhere. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. There might even be a porno site out there somewhere. With some
we're gonna look you up now. There might even be we might look you up.
I did some crazy things, some crazy things in my youth. Though I don't think that those videos will ever turn up. Not really. I don't. Think
hopefully not. Oh no.
Oh, I don't care. I would cash it in. Look how young and hot I was. Are you kidding me?
On his back. On his back again.
Hey. I'm not gonna get into this. You trying to get me started? No.
Okay, so we have a lot of different places where we can look for you, right?
If you just Google Richard-Lael, Lilliard, or the Gentleman Psychic.
The Gentleman. I like that. The Gentleman Psychic.
I'm easy. I'm easy to be found.
Okay. Well,
I'm glad you finished that sentence.
I know. I thought you were about to sound easy.
I'm easy.
I'm easy.
Keep going. Elaborate.
Well, I usually put a pause there. I usually say, I'm really easy to be found.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah. That's what goodness. I knew he was.
Right.
And you jumped right in, Storm. You jumped right in.
I'm like,
so that was really, really fun, you guys. And
That
that's
was lovely.
Yeah, we are so happy that you took some time to be on our show, and we
Yeah.
love that you opened up people's minds, like, because in society there's a lot of closed minds people about Satanism and being gay, and it's just nice to hear your take on it. And anyone who's met Richard-Lael, he's really nice and very creative, very bright, and like totally intelligent. Like, look at all the different topics that he has knowledge on. So it was a really treat to meet you and to learn a lot more about you, and that you touch so many people through your different
literally and physically.
I want him to come to LA and take us to his world. I want to see, for real. You know what I mean? You need to
come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure intoxication.
Are we gonna get on the elevator too? No.
My great glass elevator.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're gonna go find you in New York one of these days. Hopefully our show will be able to travel to New York, and we would love to come and sit with you at your house with some lights on.
Remember to keep the lights on.
With some lights on and that damn generator of yours, Shonda. Storm.
And then you'll bring your wine, and then you'll run out. I gotta go. I gotta get out of
here. I gotta go. I don't know if I want to drink no wine and be sitting up in there. I'll be hearing shit. I'll be like, wait.
We're gonna be crawling out of there is what we're gonna be
doing. I'm sitting on the floor. Hell no, that's the closest. No. No.
Oh no.
Richard,
we scare our own selves, and we haven't even got there yet.
Right.
Richard has survived.
It's like off topic
for many centuries there. No, just like
can do you believe that you can cheat death? I'm going Final Destination on
you. No, not ultimately. Okay. Not ultimately. I think it, there's, for one thing, my father was declared dead several times. He was in Korea. He managed to miss narrowly missiles being dropped on him. So death had come for him, and then it looped back around when he was 75. So ultimately, can you cheat death? No, I don't think you can.
Right.
I mean, one day you might be able to. They might be able to take our consciousness out of our body and then plug it into a nice 25-year-old body forever.
Here you go. He's like, and they go do that porno, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's funny. No, we ain't gonna do it. He said he was good in his much younger years. I'm like, okay.
You never know, because I've been surprised by a few things in life that I didn't see coming. So who knows?
Well, shit, I can agree with that.
Right?
Not mine, because I don't know what you've seen.
But we're gonna let Richard-Lael go because he's in New York, and it's probably like midnight right now, the bewitching hour.
It is the bewitching hour.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Write me privately. I'll give you readings privately, because sometimes it reveals more than you want to publicly state. So write me privately. We'll do a little.
I could dig that.
We would love to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to read mine, Richard. Richard-Lael.
It ain't about you don't know if he want to read yours. You may not want to know what he reads. See, that's the difference.
It's true. It is true. It is true. All right, lovely.
Well,
thank you so much. We love you. Send our love to New York.
Yes, indeed. Like,
thank you.
Tell the Satanist we said hi.
I will.
Yes.
All right.
You have a good night. Thank you so much.
So cool.
You're welcome.
Truly a pleasure meeting you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yes.